Imagine a conscious contact with God so strong that no matter what you are doing or not doing, that no matter what your kids are up to or not up to, and that whether you've got the person of your dreams or they're just not cooperating, that you are happy, content, and at peace. A space where everyone else's thoughts, attitudes, and actions are beautiful and exactly as they are supposed to be. Well, this is the space where I like to play. My name is Mischa Z, and this is today's Bitch Slap. Join me as I shed light on the thoughts, actions, and attitudes that are causing you pain, and we train our minds to go to the capital S inner self, the joy that is waiting for us, the God within.
Ooh, you know what I did today? I recorded an episode while I was walking, and it was a bit disjointed, so I gave it a little bit of space, took some breaths in, and I said, what the heck? What's the harm in re-recording that episode? Because I'm just walking anyway. So I re-recorded the episode, and I deleted the first one. I think that's progress for me. I do believe it is. So in that vein, I had just recorded another episode, let's say episode 2 of the same walk, and I was like, gosh, that episode was a bit disjointed as well. Why don't I retry re-recording it? Here I am. So what that episode was about was how I was literally the insane person that I will sometimes see and go, that person is insane. On my walks, I oftentimes see people, there's a couple people that I'm familiar with, that my guess is most people look at them and go, they're insane. Because they're a little unkempt. Perhaps they're have a couple of days I'll just go ahead and say it, aroma on them. And you've heard me talk about this before in some previous episodes. The person, anybody on the outside's going, this dude's crazy. Because they're just talking to nobody, and they're unkempt, and they're perhaps smelly. And so, of course, this morning, the good news is I fixed the button on the Motive app. That's the app that I record onto. The Motive app is the app on the phone that records. The microphone that I plug in, the MV88, that's the actual piece of equipment I plug into the phone, and then I open the Motive app. And you're actually not required to use the Motive app, but it is so functional and easy to use and fun and cool that perhaps you would be a fool not to use the Motive app, not to place judgment on foolish behavior. So I had clicked the button on the Motive app so that when you're recording, the screen doesn't go dark. Because I was finding that as I would be recording, the screen would go dark, and then I would be distracted in my thoughts because I would need to go to the home screen with my thumb, the button, reopen the app, see is it still recording, how many minutes am I at, what have you. And I'm distracted enough as it is, so God forbid I have that distraction going on. So I'd fixed that problem. So I was starting to record episode number 2. By the way, this is take 3. Because the first take, I'm talking, going on and on, pontificating away, probably about a totally different subject by now. And I noticed that the screen's dark. And I'm thinking, the screen's dark. I thought I fixed that problem. Gosh darn it. And I must have been a good 3 or 4 minutes into the episode So I open the home screen, look at the app. I forgot to hit the record button. So I was literally the crazy guy. I was the insane person. I was talking into my phone with a microphone, and I was talking to nobody. It was not recording or doing anything. And I'm a bit unkempt from a couple of days, and perhaps unshowered. Is that too much information? Doesn't matter. It's the reality. God bless the COVID. I don't have to shower every day anymore. I suppose if I ever had a girlfriend again, maybe I'd shower every day. Whatever, more will be revealed. Which reminded me of my crazy neighbor that I had at the last house I lived in. I had this neighbor, and she would call the cops all the time. All of us, her neighbors, all of a sudden the police would be at your door. And you'd be like, yes? Crazy neighbor. They wouldn't say crazy, but they would be like, the neighbor, blah, blah, blah. So we're just checking. Saw someone randomly running down the street. Or you were doing something. Or just all this, anything, who knows? It was insane. And there was 3 of us neighbors that were her direct neighbors that I was across the street. One was right next door to her. And then there was the person across the street next to me that seemed to be the bane of her existence. And so one of her favorite things to do, other than call the police and have the police show up at your door, was she had one of those old Kodak Insta cameras. God bless this woman too. Like, I tried so hard. Tried bringing her cookies one time, I think. Or I was constantly trying to take the high road, be nice, smile, wave. I might drive home one day and she'd be standing out there glaring, and I would say, hello. I'd smile. She literally would say, F you, but the full word. One time, I came home, smiled, waved. She flipped me off, said, F off, turned around and stormed in the house. And all I did was drive home and give her a smile. And it didn't matter. You smiled, you frowned. It didn't matter. It's fun to be able to talk about the neighbor. But I tried, constantly praying for her. God, how can I be of service? How can I be helpful to my neighbor? And a lot of the times it was just, keep smiling. Live and let live. Live and let live. Thank goodness the answer was finally move away. But one of her favorite things to do, and God bless her, I hope she's okay now. I do. Yeah. There was I'm sure a sweetness in her dying to come out. Anyhow, she had this mid-1990s vintage Kodak disposable camera. Remember those yellow ones? They'd have like 10 pictures in them or 20 pictures in them. I think the extra large capacity ones might have had 30. So you'd go on vacation with your Insta camera, take the pictures, and then hand the camera to the old kiosk, the Walgreens picture developing kiosk or what have you. So she had one of those vintage, and she was always out there taking pictures of what us in the neighborhood was doing wrong. God forbid you had friends come over and park. She'd be out there right away, documenting, snapping away. The irony, of course, there was no film in the camera. Or, you get what I'm saying. Whatever, 10 pictures had long ago been used up. And so, for a brief moment today, I was my neighbor, using my phone, talking to nobody or anything. God bless everybody. Life is rich.
Thank you for spending time with me today. As someone who is committed to growth and service to this world, I so appreciate your willingness to come with me, go within, and serve our world through change. If you found value in this podcast and you know someone who can use this message, share this episode with them. Share it so our mission can be achieved one episode at a time. And of course, subscribe so you can hear more.
And lastly, for my free Insider's Guide to Finding Peace, go to belove.media/peace. That's B as in boy, ELOVE.media/PEACE. It's my 8-step guide to finding peace now. It's a super powerful tool. I use it all the time. Check it out. I'm offering it to you for free. Thank you again for listening.